Guru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. So a lot of people will be at home and maybe feeling that they wish to relax and wish to connect with their spiritual side. But sometimes people are stuck how to start and where to start from. So we have a very short video, roughly about five minutes or so. So something which we do at work with the classes, with the people who attend them. Sometimes there's non-Sikhs as well. So a lot of times people want to make those steps, and it's very easy to say to somebody, do Simran, or to say to somebody, to see Path Karo, to pray or to meditate. However, where do people start from? So if it's somebody who's perhaps doesn't go to Gurdwara Sahib, has not had a spiritual upbringing, has not been exposed to spiritual side of Sikhi, so what can they do? So there's a few things which you share, and one of the book is from by Raghbir Singh Beer, Bandagi Nama, and there's his audio books on YouTube as well, but they're unfortunately in Punjabi, but the book is available in English as well. So the first step for meditation, if you do a free part, and so this is something, like I said, we're doing classes at work where we have non-Sikhs as well. So the first part is that to focus on, we say Tan Guru Nanak. Tan means great, so we said great is Guru Nanak Dev Ji. So in Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, there is a line which comes. So it's all Gurbani based meditation we're doing. So the line from Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, where Tan Guru Nanak appears, is Tan Tan Guru Nanak, Tan Tan Guru Nanak Samdarsi Jininda Ustat Tari Tarant. So blessed, great is Guru Nanak, Samdarsi, who sees everybody impartially. He sees everybody equally with the equal eye. Tan Tan Guru Nanak Samdarsi Jininda Ustat Tari Tarant, who is saved from praise and slander, and also saves others. He doesn't drown in slander or praise, and nor does he allow anybody else to drown. Only one who is himself free, only one who himself is not drowning can save somebody else. So that's what we remember in Guru Nanak Dev Ji. So this is part one, and the reason behind this is very important. Before we do the jap means the chanting or the meditation. So I'm on purpose speaking English in this one and not Punjabi. I can make a separate one in Punjabi for those who are Punjabi speaking. So why say Tan Guru Nanak? By Raghbir Singh Beer, in his book, he writes, when we say Tan Guru Nanak, we are invoking Gur Prasad. Mool Mantar in the first verse of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, before the full stop comes Gur Prasad. Gur Prasad, the Guru's grace. One is effort, which is called Uddam, and one is grace, which in Punjabi is called Nadar or Bakshish. When we go to Gurdwara Sahib, we get Prashad. When the eatable blessing is called Prashad, but the word grace, or when we're using Gurbani, is Gur Prasad or Prasad. So the sh sound is used for when we are talking about eating, which you will probably be familiar with those who've been to Gurdwara Sahib. So when we go to Gurdwara, the meaning is same though. Prashad and Prasad, the meaning is same, meaning blessing, but one is the eatable blessing, and the other one just means blessing as general blessing of Vaheguru Ji. When we go to Gurdwara Sahib, anybody can receive Prashad. Everybody equally receives Prashad. No one looks at how much part you've done, how much prayer you've done. No one looks at how spiritual a person you are, how good you are, how bowed you are. Everybody has equal access to Prashad, to the physical eatable blessing. Similarly, the blessings of Vaheguru Ji, His grace, when somebody is blessed, when somebody receives His grace, he doesn't look at our faults, our mistakes, how much spiritual wealth we may have or not have. When he gives his grace, when he decides to give his grace, he can give it to anybody. So it's a very amazing, powerful thing which gives hope to the hopeless one. So Gur Prasad, invoking Guru Nanak Dev's blessing. You're starting, someone tells you need to meditate. Because if you don't meditate, you end up probably medicating. A lot of people now with this self-isolation and people in the lockdown, a lot of people might be going to depression, feeling sad, feeling lonely. Some people may be turning to sleeping tablets, maybe turning to antidepressants and so on. However, there's an easy way which you can meditate by thinking of the one. So for this, Gur Prasad, by chanting Tan Guru Nanak is great. Just to, before moving on, to share a small example. I remember somebody who came to prison, and I was talking to him, and I was discussing with him, and he was totally lost how to start. I wanted to become a more spiritual person, wanted to start praying to God, connecting with Vaheguruji, but didn't know where to start. So one thing I shared with this young man is, I said, think, this is from Bhai Veer Singh's Gurmukh Sikhya. Bhai Veer Singh is a saintly scholar from the 20th century, and the book's name is Gurmukh Sikhya. It's in Punjabi, unfortunately I don't think it's in English at the moment. So there's one analogy given in there, and the analogy was, what is bigger? It's actually from a story which goes on. However, I'm just going to not go into the story part and instead just go into the analogy. So the analogy given was, what is bigger, the ocean or the boat in the ocean? So the young man said to me, it's the ocean. Then the next question which comes from this, so you imagine, you visualize, so you see a picture of an ocean, you have a small little boat in there, and it's just really obvious that the ocean is bigger, the ocean is greater than the small boat. For the next ayah, the next point, what is bigger, Guru Nanak's grace or your mistakes and sins? So in the Punjabi version it's written, Ki vadda hai Guru Nanak di nadar ja tere paap? So the young man said, he started thinking, I can see him, he was reflecting, and he goes, wow. And he goes, Guru Nanak's grace, Guru Nanak's blessings. And as soon as he said that, he was feeling something. So I said, every time we're going to do this first part one of this meditation, so I want you just to focus on this, that Guru Nanak, however many mistakes I may have done, however much imperfect I am, however many sins I have done, but oh Guru Nanak, you are greater than my sins, you are greater than my mistakes, you are greater than my imperfections. This gives us hope. The hopeless soul then gets hope. Another analogy is, a child is walking and wishes to go into the garden, wishes to go to the backyard, but it's gone dark. And the child gets scared. And the child then decides to say, Dad. Why does he call out to the dad? Because the dad's bigger than him, the dad's stronger than him, and he believes that if my dad comes, I don't need to be scared anymore. So the dad comes and he goes, son, what's up? I need to get my ball from the garden, but I'm scared. So what does the dad do? The dad holds the hand and walks with the child. He gets the ball and they come back. The child didn't feel scared. And if you ask the child, why didn't you feel scared? The child will say, I didn't feel scared because I was holding my dad's hand. My dad's bigger than me. My dad's, he's bigger than me. For a child, why do I need to worry? My dad's stronger than me. My dad can face any challenge. For a small child, that's how he perceives his father. So if we take the same feeling that when we say, Tan Guru Nanak, you are great. And we think, you know what? It's like holding on to the hand of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. You know what? I don't need to be scared. Tan Guru Nanak, you're bigger than my challenges. Guru Nanak is bigger than anything in this world, Guru Nanak is greater than that. And when we feel that, that gives the helpless, hopeless soul hope. And it's a very powerful thing. So for this meditation, in the line of work which I do, they don't have access to computers and so on. But there, during our sessions, I personally have a computer, and in that I've recorded Tanapura. So from YouTube, I've downloaded the audio part of Tanapura. Tanapura is an instrumental sound from a stringed instrument, and you may have heard it before, but they may use in Kirtan, or there's people using it as a background music in meditation. I found it's quite helpful having some background music in the sense of instrumental, stringed instruments, traditional to Sikh Sangeet, Gurmat Sangeet, Sikh traditional music, as well as to the Indian subcontinent. It helps just to get in that mood. Getting in the mood of having feeling and emotion is very important. So we'll cover the emotion part in the next part. So this is part 1 of the meditation. Well, we said 5 minutes, but it looks like each section will be 5 minutes. So there's 5 minutes, and we spend 5 minutes. But just a smaller practical. So this is particular, that's why I'm speaking in English. For those people who can actually, whilst they're not going to work, they can actually just take 5 minutes every day. And if they just do this, from the feedback which I get from people who don't go to Gurdwara, but I've just, I try to do this. People, perhaps you have not read much about Sikhi, but do this. They get a lot of peace and they feel that connection. And you know what? They said, actually, I want to do more. So Maharaj Kirpa Karan. So where people spend a lot of time going to gym and building up their bodies, perhaps we need to also focus on spiritual gym and focusing on our spiritual energy, our spiritual health, and building that connection with the Creator. So if you've got an iPhone, you can download an app. I'm probably not going to show on my iPad because I think everything gets shown the other way around, so you won't be able to see clearly. So if you go to the App Store and you type in Tanapura, Tanpura, Tenpura, Tanapura, if you put that in the search and you search that, and it should be like a picture of an instrument. It should be a free, there's no charge for the app. Download that and it looks something like this. So the sound of it, I'll just show you. So it's quite relaxing. You can play this during your Nityanem for those who do their daily part. Or it's particularly useful also for those Amartaris do Nama Abhyas to have this in the background. That's my personal, I find it quite helpful. So if the first thing is that Bhai Raghbir Singh Bir explains is that to sit up straight and not to have support of a wall. In the past, I used to sit with my back against a wall when doing Simran, when doing Bhat, when doing meditation, doing prayer. However, I used to make excuse that I've got, my back will start hurting, I'll be in pain. However, what Bhai Raghbir Singh Bir says is, in his writing, in his book, he says that no pain, no gain, in short, that you will go through some discomfort. However, go through that small discomfort because you'll get used to it and then you won't feel discomfort and actually become a habit and actually it'll be very useful for you. So key things which you can do to keep a straight back is, one, you get a pillow, and the pillow, he says, sit on the pillow. So I'll put the pillow underneath me. But when sitting on the pillow, you only sit on half the pillow, not the full pillow. What happens is that then you get elevated like that, so your backside, the back of the rearest part is slightly more elevated, and the bottom part is still kind of hanging down from the pillow. Number one. Number two is if you going to do this on your bed, in your bed, for example, while sitting on the bed, or you can do wherever you're doing it. If you've got a blanket, a duvet, or a shawl, is sometimes, if you imagine if this was a blanket, or it could be a shawl, for example, so imagine it's longer and so on. If you get it and wrap yourself around, so imagine you wrap yourself around, and you can even do a double wrap, that gives you support as well. So it's like a bit like sitting in a seat without having to go back onto a wall for support, and it's very useful. So these things are small things which are very handy, and I found it's quite helpful. So that's number one. So the attitude you do something with, the seriousness you do something is going to be the output. So it's a bit like going to the gym and you're wearing your work shoes and you're not wearing trainers. It's like going to the gym and you're wearing trousers when really you should be wearing shorts, or you should be wearing your appropriate gym gear. So similarly, when we're going to be doing our part, similar when you're doing meditation, you should be try to prepare yourself physically that I'm doing this. So those who are doing early morning, similar meditation, we wake up in the early hours before sunrise. So I suggest for those who have never woken up before in the early hours, 5 a.m. may be a good start. 5 a.m, have a shower, sit down, cover your head, and then start this. So remember, pillow behind, you can use your blanket or shawl and wrap. One is this way. If you're feeling cold, you can have another one over your shoulders, and that can be also helpful as well. So then you can put this app on, and that's quite helpful. So depending on how comfortable you are, so you can put the volume, and then we'll start with the Tan Guru Nanak Jap. One thing I learned from a non-Punjabi, a Sri Lankan person who used to come to the class, is he used to always sit, when we do Simran together, he used to sit like this with his eyes closed. I learned lots from that. How you go to receive something is very powerful. You go to the Gurdwara and you're like this for the prasad, or somebody's like this. It's a big difference. How you receive something changes the whole picture. How we give something as well. We can throw food at somebody, or we can give food. So how we give and how we receive changes things a lot as well. So it may be difficult sitting like this for some people. So perhaps just having hands together, but it's down, or in the other case you can just have it and just relax. But I personally found it quite helpful putting hands together. But perhaps like this you may get tired, and but keep it down. So based on those who know some Gurbani, the full Pangati, the full line which you can recite at this for this first stage is Tan Tan Guru Nanak Samdarsi Jininda Ustat Tari Tarant. That's the full line which you can chant. For those who don't know much Gurbani or don't know at all, just do Tan Guru Nanak. So what I'll do is I'll repeat as we do. You can try to join in at the same time. So I'm going to put the Tanapura sound slightly higher. So hands together, make sure your back straight. Another thing for keeping back straight, if you do this, hands up and you stretch up, and then you just drop your hands like this, that's basically a straight back. So up, and then you just relax your hands. That basically, this is this kind of straight pose which you should be aiming to keep with Guru's Kripa. Tan Guru Nanak, 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 Tan Guru Nanak. So at the same time you're visualizing the ocean in the boat, that Guru Nanak is the great, he is the ocean, I'm the small boat. And you try to feel that I will have hope. You try to feel that I will, I'm holding in the hand of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Tan Guru Nanak, Tan Guru Nanak, Tan Guru Nanak, Tan Guru Nanak, for those people who struggle with the melody. I prefer melody, but for those people who struggle with melodies, you can even just do Guru Nanak repetition without the melody, without the tune. Dhan Guru Nanak, Dhan Guru Nanak, Dhan Guru Nanak, Dhan Guru Nanak. You can do it this way. For those who know more Gurbani, you can do the Tan Guru Nanak Samdarsi. So this is how you can do this job, how you could do this chanting. Tan Guru Nanak Samdarsi, Tan Guru Nanak Samdarsi, Jin Nindai Usatat Tari Tarant, Jin Nindai Usatat Tari Tarant, Tan Guru Nanak, Tan Guru Nanak, Tan Guru Nanak, Tan Guru Nanak. So this is stage 1 of the meditation. So you do this for a few minutes by Raghbir Singh Bir says, and the next part is which I learned something new myself, and I found it very beneficial, and hopefully those watching will find it beneficial if you also practice this, is he said Pala Karna, doing good for others. Bhai Raghbir Singh Bir in his book describes that a stone-hearted person will struggle with spirituality. Only the soft-hearted person, somebody who is compassionate, who is a kind-hearted, will get closeness to Vaheguru, closeness to the Creator. So to get this, one analogy from the Sangat, when we're doing this with the local Sangat, with the mothers and children, one Benji, she very kindly shared, she said, she goes, when she practiced what we're going to do now, she said, I felt much lighter as a person, and that really helped her to do the Simran, to meditate. So she described it, she goes, I felt that when we're going to Vaheguruji's house, our soul wishes to go to Sachkhand, our soul wishes to unite with Vaheguruji, the Creator. But on this way, we're picking up baggages, and these baggages are bringing us, are weighing us down. So these baggages include anger, these baggages include not able to forgive, and so on. Negative feelings, negative thoughts. So if we get rid of these baggages, our soul will feel much lighter and easier to get to Vaheguruji. So what Bhai Sahib Ji suggests is sending others good wishes, Lokada Pala Mangana, before we actually do the Simran, before we actually start the Simran. So this is part 2 of our step by step. So Dhan Guru Nanak, step 1, step 2, wishing good for others. So for this, we can start from ourselves and we move out. This is a bit like mindfulness. I'm just going to put the Tanapura slightly down. So this is mindfulness. So for this, the suggestion is we start from ourselves. So if we say the word Pala Hove, for those who perhaps Punjabi is not your first language, or Punjabi you do not know, you're new to Punjabi, we'll cover that as well. For those who can speak Punjabi, you can say Pala Hove. For those who don't know Punjabi, you can say good wishes. So we start with, you think of your eyes would be closed, and for this one you don't need to speak. So whilst your eyes are closed, you think of your body and you say to yourself as internal talk, Mere sarir da pala hove. Good wishes to my body. I wish good for my body. And then you just feel that. So you just kind of inside, you think from your head, going down all your body, and you're seeking goodness for your body. Because if our body works, only then we can do Simran and we can actually do Seva. Next part is the family members. So then you think of your family. Say, mere parvar da. And when you said, you can pause and you can visualize your family members. So you might think of your mom, your dad, and so on, or your children, and so on. Then you say, when you sing, I say, Pala hove. So it's in a way we're doing ardas, we're doing a prayer for the goodness, good wishes of our family members. When we visualize them in our mind, it sometimes just brings a bit more things, a bit more to the heart. So we've started with wishing ourselves good, wishing our family members good. Mera parvar da bhala hove. Then we say, mere rishtedara da, and then you might think of rishta. Rishta means relatives. So he goes, for my relatives, and then think of your relatives, people who you wish to send prayers and good wishes to. And he says, bhala hove. Or in English you can say, for my relatives, I wish good. Then when you go on to this is easy part. Then you can do the next, you can go to friends, and then the next part you could do sangat. So people in your local sangat which you think they need help, people who you think that it would benefit them for you to pray for them, to send them good wishes, you can think of them and says, Samu sangat da, all the sangat, bhala hove. And then you might think of that person and send those vibes. Now the second part, this is where Kabir Singh B's kind of, what he's trying to get at comes in more in play. So that part is, so you put hands together. You don't have to say this. I've tried, I think I find it personally easier just to say it within the mind. Depends how you want to do this. Jere loka ne mera bura kita, una da bhala hove. Those people who wished bad to me or done bad to me, I wish good. It's very powerful. And when you visualize these people, you might visualize X, Y, Z, various people. You think, oh, you know, they've done bad things to me. You know, they've been not so nice to me. And you say, you know, I want to free myself. I just want to be free, a free soul. I don't want this baggage of anger and resentment. I just want to be free. This will help us in meditation, help us get closer to Vaheguruji. So, jire loka ne mera bura kita una da bhala hove. Those who did bad to me, I wish good. The next one is, jire lok minu mara samjhde ya, una da bhala hove. Those who think bad of me, I wish good. You can then make up these affirmations yourself as well. Hon jere agge ya, je main kise tisse da dil dukhaya, oh menu maaf kar dein. If I've hurt anybody's soul, may they forgive me. Je kise ne mera dil dukhaya, or you can say, jere loka ne mera dil dukhaya, menu dukh ditta, main unnu maaf kar ditta. Those who have given me hurt, I have forgiven them. What this means is you are moving on. You're not stuck in the past, you're moving on, you're helping yourself to get to the present, living in the present, being in the present, we can easily connect. Very simple things, yeah? So we started from wishing good to our body, family, relatives, people in the Sangat. Then we do wishing those people good who are giving us hurt, pain, asking for forgiveness as well as giving forgiveness. Jaha khima tahe aap. Where there's forgiveness, Vaheguruji is himself. Very powerful thing. I'll never forgive him. Become stone-hearted and become very heavy. And actually we've got a lot of weight on our shoulders. So this is very important. Then to end of this second stage, what we do is, you can say this, so with the class which I do at work, we all say together. So I say it and they repeat after me. Nanak naam chaddi kala, tere paane sarbat da pala. Then they all repeat together. Nanak naam chaddi kala, tere paane sarbat da pala. We do this 3-4 times. Sarbat da pala, we wish for good for the whole humanity. Now you've got a base now. So first we hold on to the hand of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. We've lightened our soul, we've lightened our weight and burden of negative feelings and thoughts. And the last stage then is then we can do some similar meditation. With the people at work, in the classes which we have, we use Gurbani as a means to do Simran. Those who have taken Amrit will do Nama Abhyas. So for these, for everybody really, it's easy to do Simran or remembrance of Gurbani lines. We can use Gurbani lines to do Simran. So one line from Gurbani is Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Vahejio. So it's 3 times Vaheguru. So Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Vaheguru. So it's 3 times Vaheguru, then last one is Vahejio. The line before this is Sach Sach Sri Navas Adpurik Sada Tohi. And so just for our information, Vaheguru, Vahe ta Guru. Vahe means amazing, Guru means light. But not any light, a light which is in darkness. And if we visualize that our lives, we're in darkness. And what is darkness? Loneliness. What is darkness? Confusion. What is darkness? When being frightened, being scared. Darkness is feeling of hatred. Darkness is feeling lost. And we are lost without Vaheguru. We are lost without the Creator. We are lost without the Almighty. But just with the light, when the light comes on, there's clarity. The light comes on, there's nothing to be scared of. The light comes on and you can see the way. The light comes on and we've got hope. And that is what Vaheguru is, an amazing light of our lives. So by saying Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Vaheguru 3 times, and Vahejio is the last one. Vahe te Jio. Vahejio meaning amazing beloved one. You are my beloved, my lovely. So there's one Sant Singh Maskeen, Gyani Sant Singh Maskeen, he was a philosopher. He shares in one of his lectures, he says, Amir Amir keh ke banda Amir nahi banda. By saying rich and rich over and over again, someone does not become rich. Gareeb Gareeb keh ke koi gareeb nahi banda. By saying poor poor over and over again, someone does not become poor. And the last one he says, पर वाहिगुरु वाहिगुरु कहण वाला जरूर वाहिगुरु दा बंदा बन जांदा. But one who says Vaheguru, Vaheguru, one who says God's name over and again, jarur, surely, definitely, that person becomes Vahegurus. That relationship gets built. So for this, before we do this jap, this chanting meditation, something which I share with those who attend the classes at work is when a small child, so when a child is born, the first word a child is able to say, or does say usually, is mama. It calls out to his mother. Now if a child's feeling hungry, he's going to say mama. If a child is feeling hungry, he's going to say mama. If a child's feeling sleepy, he'll say mama. If a child's feeling scared, he'll say mama. If a child is feeling happy and wants to share happiness with his mother, he'll say mama. Okay? So actually the word mama is not an empty word. For a child, a small child, mama is a lifeline. It's a word which he can, wow, I've now got a word which I can express my feelings to the one who gave birth to me, the one who cares for me, the ones who will protect me, the ones who are going to feed me. The one who's there for me, the one who I'm a part of. So the same thing, we have been given the name of God, and just even one word, the Kirtan names mean the various words which we use to describe God, to build a relationship with God. So in different traditions, and in Guru Granth Sahib Ji I mentioned, somebody say Ram, Gopal, Hari, Madho, and various other names. People use Allah, Khuda, and so on. So when we say God's name, this is let's not just keep it as a word. That one word is that I've got a whole prayer. I want to open my heart to you. But just like a child, he's only got one word to express himself. With one word, that one word expresses our whole ardas, our whole prayer. That one word expresses the whole conversation we want to have with Vaheguru Ji. So how does Vaheguru Ji respond back? Vaheguru Ji responds back with his name as well. So when we say Vaheguru, Vaheguru Ji then responds by saying, the second time we say Vaheguru, just we feel that that's Vaheguru Ji talking back to us. So similar with the one word that Vaheguru Ji has expressed his whole conversation. Now when a child says Mama, mother will know, oh, don't worry, it's the child is it's all right, it's all right. And then suddenly the child says Mama, and then mother will go running. Someone says, how come you ran this time, but last time you didn't pay attention? He goes, oh, last time I know from his cry, the way he says Mama, what he means. And similar, how we say Vaheguru with that emotion, feeling, that's how Vaheguru Ji reacts to our Simran, to our meditation. So these are important things to keep in mind when we do the Simran or when we do part. Having feeling, having emotion is very important. Last thing, when a young child shared in the class which we have at our local Gurdwara, a young girl, she shared with her mother. Her mother, they're talking amongst themselves at home and talking about doing Simran. And the young girl says, do you know Vaheguru Ji listens to my prayers? Vaheguru Ji listens to me doing Simran, listens to me meditating. So the mother said, how is that? And she smiled. She's a very, very lovely, innocent child, very blessed child. And she said, these ears are Vaheguru's ears. And when I sing Gurbani, when I do my part or I do Simran, when it goes into these ears are Vaheguru Ji's ears, and Vaheguru hears through these ears. Then she said, Vaheguru Ji talks to me. And the mother said, how does Vaheguru talk to you? Because when I speak from this tongue belongs to Vaheguru. So when I say Vaheguru, or when I do Ik Oankar Satnam, I do my part, Vaheguru Ji talks to me through my own tongue. Then the mother asked us, can you see Vaheguru? She said, Vaheguru can see me. I can't see Vaheguru, but Vaheguru sees me. Because how does Vaheguru see you? Because Mum, when you're looking at me, your eyes are Vaheguru's eyes, and Vaheguru sees me through your eyes. And Vaheguru can see everything I see through my eyes, because they belong to Vaheguru. Such innocence, but it's really heart-touching. So when we're doing Simran and we start feeling that when I'm going to do the chanting, that what I say is being heard by Vaheguru, and when I repeat the second time is being said by Vaheguru, it's very powerful. So for this meditation, Vaheguru, 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 for those people who are disconnected from the faith or might not be from a Sikh background, but you're watching this, and sadly there may be some brothers or sisters who sadly smoke or they vape, but they're probably deep down, obviously people know it's not the best thing you're doing in your life, and it's probably you regret, it's a bad smell, your teeth will go yellow, you're killing yourself, you're killing your lungs, you're not doing yourself any good, and you're not doing anybody else around you any good, and it's what people think is cool, like when they first started, and they've soon realized that it's actually a very bad habit, which is eating up your health and eating up your spiritual happiness, and also is damaging others people's health as well. So it's very easy to say to somebody, oh, don't smoke, don't vape. Have a bit more practical, these are habits, and it's very difficult to give up a habit. So actually having practical solutions is sometimes more easier. People feel relaxed when they're vaping or smoking, because actually it's not the nicotine. The nicotine is actually a depressant. It's actually people breathing in. If you did the breathing in, breathing out without the cigarette, without the vape, that would do much better than actually that. So number one, that's what's making you feel good. It's not the cigarette or vape. Now for those brothers, I work with a lot of people who do sadly smoke and vape. That's the nature of my work. And so for those particular people who have a drug problem, or for those people who smoke, or for those people who vape, usually they need to keep their hands busy. So to keep your hands busy, there's sometimes a fidgety, and that's why cigarette is something just to hold and keep keep your hands busy with. So for those people, when we're doing jap, this is not part of Sikhi, just something additional. You can say mindfulness, or you can say additional, something about practical things which you can help those brothers and sisters who struggle. Also with the be those who have ADHD, or those people who are hyperactive, parents whose children, rather than say, stop playing with your hands. Well, they actually need someone to play with their hands, and sometimes giving them a simrana, a prayer beads, or also what we're going to do now, which I'm going to show you. This is not necessary for only those people who have issues with their hands or with smoking, vaping, and need to keep their hands busy. This is for those. So what you can do is, keep your thumb. You can keep your thumbs, and then with the thumb you're touching each finger. So Vaheguru. Yeah, first finger, second finger, Vaheguru. Third finger, Vaheguru. And you've got one finger left, and that's going to be Vahejio. Vaheguru, 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 last one Vahejio. So this is keeping people's hands busy and also helping them to the focus. So where people have cravings, it's easier to then focus because you've got something to focus. Because a lot of time people crave for bad habits when their mind is idle, when your mind is not doing anything. Boredom, a lot of people I've talked to, why they turn to drugs, or why they turn to alcohol, why they turn to vaping or smoking, is boredom. So keeping your hands and you're busy, and your mind, you're just drawing back, and physically keeping yourself busy as well, engaged. That's why I might see some people when they're doing, listening to kirtan or doing kirtan or part, there's sometimes their body is going side to side. The reason being they try to keep their body as well engaged. So it stops you from falling asleep, or just keeping your body rhythm, just help the concentration. So this thing we can do, okay? So those people who struggle with hands, hyperactivity, with smoking or with vaping, or need something to keep extra focused, you can do this, and you can keep your hands down and you can keep on doing this, okay? So for this, I'm going to put the Tanpara up again. So for this, when we're going to do the Vaheguru, between each was a Vahejio. When we have a gap between the words, it gives the mind a bit of space. When the mind has a bit of space, time to think, our other thoughts go down. So we say Vahejio, Vahejio, hold and release. When we are doing something continuous, Vahejio, 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 or we're doing some part, Ik Onkar Satnam, when we have a gap in between, Ik Onkar Satnam Kartapur, you hold it, Nirbhav. When we do this, we leave a gap. It helps the thoughts from those who have tried to do this. It's helped them personally. It might not, everybody's individual, but for those who have practically done this, it's helped them just to quieten the mind down and just to focus more. It helps to quieten the mind. So when we do each one, if you just have a small pause, Vahejio, and see how you feel. So if you probably close your eyes, keeping your back straight, and for those people you can use that. I'll use the hands like this on purpose, so that for those people, like I said, who have vaping, cigarette problem, or they have hyperactivity, ADHD, or parents who think they're, so this, you keep on doing this. So also, just because that after the third Vaheguru, you have to say Vahejio. So it's keeping your mind engaged, and your mind's not wandering to negative thoughts, rather you're just keeping it engaged, busy. So we'll start. Vaheguru, 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 Vahejio, Vaheguru, 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 Vahejio. So I'm doing my fingers up like this on purpose, so that people can see how you can do that for those people who have issues with fidgetiness, with fidgeting. So the more slower and the more deep and the more quieter you do it, the more you probably feel slightly relaxed. Vaheguru. Guru, Vaheguru, 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 Vaheguru. So when you're doing this, just at the end, you can continue doing that. So if you did start with 5 minutes, many people which have never done any part Simran, never done any spiritual activity, have said, but you know what, that was amazing. I've had certain individuals, young people, who are saying, I'm waking up 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, you know, sometimes in the places where I work, they don't have full facilities to have a full shower at that time. So instead they just wash their face, wash their hands, their feet, sit cross-legged, like so with a pillow underneath. You might have your diva wrapped across so it gives you back support. You may have another blanket on top of your shoulders if it's cold, and sit there. And they said it's amazing, the whole really good start to the day if you all do that. So as we go quieter and quieter, and you end with silence. So that is the 3-part meditation. Dhan Guru Nanak, wishing good for others, mindfulness, forgiving others, and also asking for forgiveness. And the last one is doing the Simran Jap of Gurbani. So we've chosen the line of Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Vaheguru from Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. So these are good starting points for adding some Simran meditation and building that connection with Vaheguru Ji. As you might be noticing with the whole coronavirus and what's happening in the world is a temporary place, and all the things which we think will give us happiness, the pleasures that we pursue, in 1 second they can go away. These are all temporary. This world is temporary, our lives are temporary, the pleasures we pursue are temporary. And the only permanent thing in our lives, the only certain thing in our lives is Vaheguru. And let's make Vaheguru, rather than temporary things, we make Vaheguru Ji our support, Vaheguru Ji part of our lives. Then we will not be stressed by uncertainty, because the one certainty we do have in our lives is Vaheguru in our lives. We have God in our lives. We have the Creator in our lives. So hopefully that's been helpful. So I did say it was going to be a 5-minute video, but it seemed longer than that. So perhaps each session was probably 5 minutes. Hopefully people found that helpful. For those who perhaps don't do Simran, do not do meditation, whether you're Sikhs or non-Sikhs, Guru Nanak loves everybody. Please do chant Dhan Guru Nanak. Please do chant Gurbani. We picked one line, Vaheguru, 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 and you will all benefit from this. Perhaps in a future video we can do also Mool Mantro Mangala Charan Jap meditation as well. We can pick a different lines of Guru Granth Sahib Ji from Gurbani that we can do chants for those as a beginners, basic people who perhaps are just getting slowly on the spiritual path and wish to get closer to Vaheguru Ji, or wish to get closer to becoming the Sikhs of Guru Sahib. So forgive me for any mistakes. God bless everybody. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.